morning, everybody. It is Wednesday, middle of the week. Oh, yeah. It's just going to be Halloween before you know it. But the most exciting thing is going to be IR Lone Star FM. It's going to be Conroe's FM stations, 106.1 and 104.5. This time next week, when you're driving around in the Montgomery County area, you'll be able to hear us. But always globally, we're always there on irlonestar.com. And you can go to my Facebook page and be able to, see what's coming up and what's happening, the Cindy Cochran Show. And also, I've got a channel on YouTube and SoundCloud. That makes sense. All my sounds go up in the cloud. But SoundCloud, and you can search the Cindy Cochran Show and, check on my channel and subscribe. That would be awesome. Even though I myself don't know how to subscribe, I bet you do. And you can subscribe and hear all the archives of the Cindy Cochran Show. Now, all 37 shows are not on my channel yet. But I've got all of last week's on there. Yes, I have. And so you can listen to all the things that happened last week and then look forward to next week on FM. It's so exciting. So we will be we'll be having that happen this weekend. The transition happens. And then be sure and remember to go get out in your car and punch up 106.1 or 104.5, and there we are. It's just amazing. And then TV's coming to us. Yes, you're going to be able to see us as well as hear us. That may not be good for everybody, but you'll enjoy it. So I want to make sure that you do that. But go to my Facebook page and look at the pictures that Don Wilson did for me. You won't believe it. You just won't believe them. You have to go to the Cindy Cochran Show Facebook page and check out the post I did last night, and with pictures that Don did. Did you see them, Richard? Did you see my Facebook page?
No.
Look at it.
Because you need to tag the station.
Oh, I should have tagged the station. I'm sorry. But would that keep you from going to look at it right now, so I can show you? What?
Okay, I'm there.
Do you see? You see the pictures on my post?
Yeah.
Isn't that cute? It's so cute.
I mean, who edited that for you?
Don did. Don in L.A.
Oh, wow.
Who's going to be with us tomorrow. In fact, Don Wilson did that for me. He said, I had some time on my hands, and he did a picture that looks like Hillary Clinton is applauding me. And it looks like Donald Trump is holding my picture. And so it's really cute. So if you haven't seen it, go to my website and look at that. Hey, remember, after my show's over at 11 o'clock. And so you can enjoy, fine Texas country music, right, until 12? Is that what you'll be playing?
Say that again?
Between 11 and 12, there's not a show, right?
Yes, we're doing music, and then
music.
Hanging with the Haters,
right?
And then
that's what I was going to promote.
Mike Sasser
was Hanging with the Haters. Mark Hader and his lovely wife Kay are going to be on, and that's just a fun-filled hour that you can spend and eat your lunch and listen to that. It does nothing for your indigestion. My show would do more for your indigestion than theirs would. They're really good, and they're really fun. So if you haven't heard their show yet, be sure and check it out. Tomorrow, I get to be on Joey Sheaf's, his show, Real Talk, is at 12 o'clock on Thursdays. And then he's going to come on my show on Friday. But Real Talk, he loves to talk about spiritual things, which I love, and political things. Very, very, opposite of the ends of the earth. But that's what your mom told you, never to talk politics and religion, and you'll keep more friends. I don't know. I think that's more true today than ever before. Because if you're for Donald Trump, people see you in one way, and if you're not, then if you're for Hillary, I can't even come out of my mouth. They see you another way. So everybody's got everybody, tagged. If you're for that person, then you must be this. And if you're for this person, then you must be that. That's terrible. But because there's well-educated people that like Donald Trump, and there's well-educated people that feel like they've got to like Hillary, that they have to. But boy, we talked about OBAMASCARE, and it has really gotten even scarier when everybody just jumped on this story yesterday. In fact, if you could do a replay of Rush Limbaugh's show, he comes on at 11 o'clock after my show. We're not on the same station by any means, but I'm telling you, his show comes on after my show at 11 o'clock. And you really would have thought, we've said this before, and I've said over and over again, somebody in his cabinet there is listening to the show, because they have the same outline. He went top to the bottom of what we talked about yesterday on 1 hour. And he's on 3 hours. But it was like he listened to make sure he was in tune with the people by listening to the Cindy Cochran Show and see what we talked about. But it was in line. And so if you play my archive of yesterday and then play Rush's, and you go like, oh my word, they're on the same page. It's amazing. So I wanted to tell you that, because of this, and because people have been saying things like, well, remember when Obama talked about we're going to get to keep our own doctors and all that stuff, and it'll go down $2,500. What you're paying, you're going to save that much money, and they'll never go up. It's just great. It's wonderful. And all of those things that he told us. And then we have one of the designers of the Affordable Act started talking about in private, he thought. He was telling people, and he started kind of bragging and saying, well, we had to tell the people they keep their own doctors and all that stuff, just so we had to get this passed and whatever it took. And, people are kind of dumb. So anyway, they thought they put one over on us, and they did, but it's all come home to roost, because now people are going, wait a minute. He said this and this and this. Good grief, he was lying to us. And then, to support even more the bombshell about the WikiLeaks emails that said, he knew, and they were worried. Cheryl Mills was, they were doing emails back and forth with she and Podesta, and they were worried about what the president had just said. March 2015, he said that he found out about her having a private server the same time we did. He found out in the news. And then this WikiLeaks comes out, and he had been receiving and sending emails to her on her private server. He knew. And these anchors are like aghast. You think he really knew? Or because that would mean he was lying. Yeah, it's hard for them to say that, but it happened. So there they are, caught with their foot in their mouth again. I don't know how we ever even understand some of these people, because the obstruction of the foot. But he said that, and then they even find out that he was using a pseudonym, that was really, she was aghast that he would do this. So anyway, they all knew, he knew, and when he said he found out at the same time we did, it reminded me of when he was asked about the IRS, scandal. I said, when did you know about these people in the IRS, doing things that were hurting people who were conservative? And he said, well, I just found out about the same time y'all did. And just some knuckleheads there in one of the offices that was playing around. And that was his excuse for that as well. So it seems like if we have a president that's going to find out these tragic and very impactful events on our economy and on our health the same time we do, I want somebody that's in there that's finding out things, probably before, so they can figure out how to fix it instead of having to be told through the media, even though we know they're great partners with the media. But it seems like they would know before. before we did. So anyway, I've been so discouraged by all that as I listened to his when he first came on the scene, and listened to his speeches and hear him talk about how clueless he was about what they did. What I was trying to act like he didn't know what that could have been, and he'll have to check into that and all that. And I go like, wait a minute, this is the president of the United States. And whenever they tried to roll out Obamacare, it was such a disaster. And you thought, it's never going to happen because they can't even get the computers and the sign-ups and all that right. They were not ready. They were not prepared for it. And so I think that the Democrats who had jumped up and had their arms all around Obamacare and Affordable Care and are up for, election are trying to either moonwalk this thing or trying to say, yes, but Hillary's going to fix it. She's going to come in. But see, her Hillary care was as bad as Obamacare that she rolled out whenever she was First Lady with Bill Clinton. So I think it's just a very interesting thing to watch. And Donald Trump is hammering it pretty hard, as well he should be, because of this is now people are getting in the mail, your premiums are going up. And they're going, wait, he's supposed to bring this down. And they're seeing how much trouble and all the different carriers that are dropping out and leaving, by the droves, the sinking ship. So it's a fun thing to watch. And listen, we've got to go to break. When we come back, we have got the tape of the century. And I don't know if you've heard the best part of it, but it's Newt Gingrich and Megyn Kelly. So much fun. The Cindy Cochran Show, Real Reality Radio. Don't go away.
The Cindy Cochran Show, the first daily talk show serving Montgomery County.
Lone Star Community Radio is Montgomery County's community radio station, and we are looking for talk show hosts and volunteer DJs for our music shows. Are you interested in having your own talk show on Lone Star, or have you always wanted to live out your dreams of being a music DJ? With the addition of Conroe's FM 104.5 and 106.1 and video aspects of our talk shows, we are needing people to grow with us. If you or someone you know might be interested, please contact us online at irlonestar.com/contact us, or call the station at 936-647-5747 for more information.
The Cindy Cochran Show. You ain't heard nothing yet.
Boy, that is so true. That is so true. In fact, during the break, we had, you watch some of the news shows, and they have this breaking news. I'm telling you, what Richard just told me is just, I want to believe it's so bad. And he's done the research. You've got to tell the story. This is we got to hold off Newt and Megyn to hear this story. Go ahead.
No, I will. I just wanted to let you know, because I love reading internet forums and stuff like that, and a lot of like the WikiLeaks stuff is when they release it, they don't tell you what to look at. Mm-hmm. Basically, it's just a group of people or individuals go out and look through and read them, and then they actually tie things together. I mean, there's a whole system, like to mention your Obamacare. If you didn't know, if you remember that story that Veritas guy released, and that guy resigned. Right. I think his name was started with a C, like Comer or something like that. He was actually wrote a big chunk of the Affordable Care Act.
The one that guy was on that video.
Yeah, okay. who was trying to incite violence and stuff like that. So, but no, like that wasn't what I was talking about. Well, there was a funny story several years ago. This guy who made something similar to like a Napster. That's it's called Mega Upload, and you can look it up. Like just look up Mega Upload and stuff like that. And basically, what it was is an online service that you could upload anything. Mm-hmm. And people were, of course, using it for illegal activities. And Hollywood got really mad at the guy who created it. It's Kim.com because he's been very vocal. That's Kim.com.
Kim.
Kim.com. I don't think this is his real name. I think that's his online. You know, all these.
I'm sure.
All these internet guys have this weird handle. But anyway, he got extradited from New Zealand to be charged with in the United States, and the person who signed his papers is Hillary Clinton. So he really doesn't like Hillary Clinton.
Right.
And he's been teasing that he, like, for example, if you follow him on Twitter and all that kind of stuff, and I would say this is a 50% chance that this is all true, but he said, happy birthday, Hillary Clinton. Does WikiLeaks have 33,000 explosive candles for you to blow out today?
Oh.
And he's been teasing that he has those emails, and he was going to release them on her birthday because when he got arrested, he got arrested on his birthday.
Oh, man.
And so he he's a pretty interesting guy. I mean, of course.
Okay, I keep trying to go KIM and then .com, and it comes up Kim DOT.
COM.
Yeah.
Like you're spelling out .com. You're not.
I know I wasn't.
You spell out .dot. You spell it out.
Oh, so it's telling me, it's making it work for me. Okay, all right. And it has the Good Life on there? Is that with the front of that?
Well, he has a Twitter account. It's Kim.com. All spelled out.
So does he talk about this? Where did you
It's just on his Twitter stuff.
Oh, okay.
And I mean, he's been talking about it for about 4 months now, 3 months, about those emails and how he, is going to get Hillary back. And I think he's part of that community online, that kind of similar to WikiLeaks and all that stuff. Because this guy's a pretty serious player in the internet world, where it comes down to software engineering and things. Like, he made Mega Upload. Mega Upload was one of the first, basically programs that help you upload anything. It was before the cloud stuff. I mean, I'm talking like 10 years ago or something like that, 15 years ago.
That's
and
way before.
Yeah, I mean, he was one of the pioneers in this deal, but it was shut down by the United States Department of Justice. And there's a huge history about how they went around doing it and how much money they made from it. And they made different types of mega brand names, and it was this big deal. It was really funny, though. Just this whole deal when he got arrested and how pissed off he was, because he's from New Zealand. And it was just, I mean, to arrest somebody from New Zealand, you got to have a lot of political clout.
Sure.
So, of course, he's really pissed. And I really wouldn't doubt this guy doing something.
Well, the October surprise didn't come as like what we thought it was going to be. And because,
are you serious?
Well, no, for this reason. People didn't pay attention to WikiLeaks. They were not paying attention to it because of Donald Trump and all that stuff. Well,
the thing you have to look at this kind of stuff. What do you expect the people to do? Because we're scattered. It's not going to like there's going to be like a French Revolution. We're going to go in there and hang her.
Well, it's the voting.
Well, there's voting too, but the process of this whole developing, it's going to take a year for people to charge her and to sue her and to do these things and to go after her. I mean, it's going to, even if she becomes president, I guarantee you someone's going to still try to take her down with all this proof.
Right.
I mean, it's still going to be, her first year of presidency is going to be awful because it's always going to be in the news
It'll always be there. And how they're going to just suppress that, I think about that all the time. Like, what are they going to do? She's in there and she starts making all these things. And who's going to believe her? How can you have that president and have a president, and every time they tell you something like, Benghazi happened because of a video, and could lie straight face to the American people, send people out to keep the lie up, and then the worst was to disrespect the mother of that that slain officer and tell her, we're going to get that guy that did that video, and just lie and lie, and they don't care. It's like there's no filter of morality at all. And so I feel like, how can you vote for this person? And she's got an ad out where this dad is holding his child, and there's two other little girls playing. He says, I have daughters, and I can't have them hearing words to describe women as, fat, ugly pigs or bimbos. And what's so funny is that that's exactly how Hillary described the women who were, saying that her husband would attack them. Never believed the women, that she just called them bimbos and, trailer trash and all that. So
I think the biggest tell is Bob Woodward coming out,
yes,
saying all these things about the scandal, and that's the guy who basically started the Watergate scandal.
Right, he knows scandals
back in the 70s. That's crazy to me that a guy, a journalist guy, would come out and say this kind of stuff, and we're like, well, he has some credibility.
Well, definitely, because he brought Nixon down, and by what they found out and the people that started talking. But it's so funny. He must feel like, wow, we thought we were being so cool and secretive and and getting all this information, and now it's just out there. It's so out there for everybody to read and everybody to draw their own conclusions. And so that's what's scary about the whole thing, is that if I can see it, and I'm not, the sharpest tool but if I can see it, how many other people that are going to go in that phone booth, the voting booth, and sit there and ponder, wait a minute, do I want her in there? She's had her chance. She's proven she can't be responsible for our security in our country. And she said she didn't even know what the C stood for, that it was classified. Wait a minute. This person has no business. And if she came in after all that happened with the FBI, if she came back in and just wanted to get a low-level job, she could never get any kind of security clearance. But she's going to be president of the United States. It does not compute. It doesn't make sense. Did you hear the story about the lead story on a lot of these cable news organizations was Texas? And the voting fraud that appears to be that when people would vote the straight ticket of Republican straight ticket, it would change the president's part to Hillary. And they've been trying to say all kinds of things that would have made that happen. But if it happened, they saw that it happened. They are trying to tell people that it happened, that I don't know, they don't do anything about that, and that goes uninvestigated. That's weird. That's so weird to me. And I can see why Donald Trump says things are rigged, although maybe he's bullied them into they better have some better polls that come out for him. But anyway, it has, and he has broken through on some very reliable polls that people feel, and I'm doing the air quotations, reliable places that people say, now these guys are good. These are good pollsters and stuff. And they're showing that he's up 3 in Florida. So there you go. In Florida, they thought she had it. And in Texas, this is interesting because Texas, when they show the map, they have it pink because it's not blue and it's not red. It's leaning, they think, towards Democrats. That one's going to have to be proved to me. I don't understand why they think that he may be able, or she may be able to carry Texas. That couldn't happen. It just couldn't. So anyway, listen, guys, I want you to know that, and remember, mark it on your calendar, that next week we start off the week with Who Done It with Bob Berry and Deanie Harmon. That's Halloween, and so it's going to be scary about the crime scene they lay out for us, and for us to try and figure out who done it. And then Tuesday, be sure mark your calendar. Bob Smiley's going to be here, and he is just international Christian comedian, so popular, and he's always traveling. And I'm just so excited I got him, and he's going to be here with us because he wanted to be one of the first people for when we go. FM. And I said, oh yeah, you got to be on here. And then Wednesday, following Bob's a hard act to follow, but I may have found one, is Mindy Miller. Mindy Miller's going to be here Wednesday, the 2nd of November. And Mindy Miller, former girlfriend of Elvis Presley, and they dated between 75 and 76. She still was talking to him on the phone during the early part of 77. She has a lot of insight. And you won't believe the reason why he just fell in love with her and why they became so close. But she has never gone out. This is her third interview she's given. And she has never gone out and done any kind of negative stuff because she saw all his friends and his girlfriends and stuff write these books and make money off of him. And it was horrible. And she knew that he wouldn't want that. Only positive stuff. She said, Cindy, please let me just do positive things. Okay? And I said, oh, that's great with me. I love that. And then she started talking about the funeral. I went to the funeral. And so many things happened that people never, ever knew about. And I'll be glad to share that on your show. And I went, yes, that's wonderful. I love that. So we got a good lineup next week, too. And I can't wait. It'll be FM. Yay. Okay, guys, I'm so appreciative of you listening. And we're halfway through the show. We'll be right back after this break. And remember, you're listening to Cindy Cochran, The Cindy Cochran Show, Real Reality Radio.
The Cindy Cochran Show, Real Reality Radio.
Did you know your favorite show on Lone Star Community Radio are on social media? Facebook, Twitter, Google+, Instagram, you name it, they're on it. Check out where they are online on irlonestar.com/shows and see which of your favorite hosts are online. Make sure to follow them and see what is in store for the next broadcast. Follow Lone Star Community Radio on Twitter at IR Lone Star or Facebook with facebook.com/IR Lone Star.
The Cindy Cochran Show, the first daily talk show serving Montgomery County.
And you're back on the Cindy Cochran Show. Thank you so much for listening. And I'm so glad Dennis decided to join us. Dennis, I'm glad you're out there. And you sent me some kind of link that's about 3 paragraphs long, and I'm afraid to click on it. So can you tell me what that link is? What's going to do? Where it's going to take me? Sometimes it's weird. But Dennis is one of our, he's so great. But some of the things he says, I can't share this text in mixed company. And I'm sure there's some men and women out there listening. Guys, it's getting so close now to becoming an FM station. And we are going to have, a reach of what is it, over 200,000 people that we're going to have the reach, Richard, to?
Well, it's Conroe's always growing, so to give you pinpoints, you should be able to hear it all the way north to New Waverly, all the way south to 242, all the way east to Cut and Shoot, and all the way west to the beginning of Montgomery. Yeah. And then you can hear us online everywhere. And then the TV is going to be a live stream, and you can see it on a schedule shows would be on our CTV channel 12, so stuff like that.
Yeah,
so.
Those that have Suddenlink Suddenlink is carrying it.
Yeah,
and so that's going to be exciting. It's really amazing. And so if you guys have friends, people that you know are starting a new business or whatever, and they would like to sponsor the Cindy Cochran Show, that would be great. And you can have them listen to archives and see if they think they'd want to put their name to it. That's probably the best way to do it, is let them listen to some shows. But we are on Monday through Friday, so if they sponsor me, we'll talk about them every single day and talk about how great they are and for sponsoring this. And it is a sponsorship. And so if you like to tell them and then message me on my Facebook, the Cindy Cochran Show will get them fixed up so that I can talk to them, meet them. And what I like to do is I like to have the people that are going to sponsor this show come on the show and talk about, what they do and who they are, and we'll put a face to that sponsorship and and a story, and really where these are real people and they care about this community. So if you have someone like that, please let us know. Hey, I found out what that huge link was that Dennis just said. Did you see it? It's Twitter for Kim.
Yeah, it's a link to it.
Yeah, it's huge. It scared me to death to think if I clicked on that, I'd never come back from cyberspace. But anyway, so last night, got to talk about this. See, we talk about everything on this show. the World Series, first game, the Indians won, right? Did you see it, Richard? Did you watch the World Series?
No, actually, I watched the Philadelphia Flyers game. They came back from 3 and won in a shootout. It was great.
But aren't you interested? The only thing I'm curious about is because the Indians haven't won a World Series since 1948 and the Cubs since 1908. So
I feel like that's said every year, though.
You think they say that every year?
Well, just like whoever's in, like, because one of the teams is going to be like, oh, they didn't win last year. Mm-hmm. So they haven't won. I mean, like, granted, the Cubs have been, it's kind of the joke.
Yeah, but 100 years.
I mean, the same thing they said about the Red Sox, but,
yeah.
I mean.
That's what.
I don't know. I feel I'm not attached to those teams from a young age. Like, I like the Astros, but then baseball kind of got hard to follow because there's so many games.
It is, and you really, and baseball is so much slower. And if you don't have, that's why I would go to the Little League games because my son was in the game. But to watch, oh brother, I didn't want to watch. And then in I don't know, it was in the late 70s, because I was doing Channel 13 and all that, they let me come on the field and sign the national anthem. They thought that would be cool because it was like a hearing impaired week or something, and they did that. And so I got to do that. So I got to take Chad, and Chad was just, little kid, and got to take him back behind the scenes. He got to see where the locker rooms were and a lot of the guys. He met the guys, and he was just so excited. And to this day, he is a diehard Astro fan. I don't care what they do, he'll watch it, and you better not say anything bad about the Astros. But that was...
well, you can say that about any fan that likes a team. I mean, the World Series, to me, is a great opportunity to gamble because there's a lot of factors into it, and a lot of people... It's a long time. Similar to like the Stanley Cup, where they play in series.
Right.
So it's not like the Super Bowl.
Well, who do you think will win?
I have no idea. I have no idea about baseball.
That's even perfect. Okay, you pick one. I'll pick one. We'll see who wins. We're not going to do it for money or anything like that. But who would you say?
Who are they even playing?
It's the Cleveland Indians and the Chicago Cubs.
That's interesting. They actually have those. I don't know. I'll say the Cleveland Indians because of Wild Thing.
You think it's a wild card?
No, Wild Thing from Major League.
Oh, see, I was going to say the Indians too. Okay, all right, so I got to do the Cubs. All right, I'll take the Cubs. What a way. Okay, and that's my my prediction. But now to be able to go nana to you, I might watch it. That would bring some interest to it. Maybe. I don't know for sure. Okay, so we have time now to play this clip, right, and then talk about it after the break. We're going to play the clip between Newt Gingrich. Hello, my face. Sorry, here we go.
It's a 7-minute clip. Do you want to play the whole thing?
No, I said start at 3:27.
All right.
And this is this happened, and everybody is playing this. Everybody is so excited about how mean and how bad this went. It was mean, I think, on Megyn Kelly's part. Newt Gingrich just came back and let her have it. He just unleashed on her, and you could tell it got to her, and especially what she says at the very end. It's pretty funny. But listen to her. This is kind of in the middle, but she starts talking. She wants to talk about Donald Trump and the women and all that, and he's trying to get back on the issues, and he's so sick of how the media has covered this, and this is in the middle of this conversation on. So here we go.
I believe the odds are at least 1 in 3, and maybe better than that the difference in intensity and the difference in determination and the degree to which Hillary Clinton is clearly the most corrupt, dishonest person ever nominated by a party all mean that the odds are pretty good she's not going to win. Mm-hmm. Now, I actually believe that. This is not just because I'm for Donald Trump. I actually believe the American people
so let me ask you about that.
By this.
So let's assume she is corrupt, right? She was just as corrupt 3 weeks ago and 3 months ago, and she would have been corrupt and collapsing physically on September 11th of this year, and her poll numbers tanked. But then you know what happened. He had a rough first debate. He took the bait on Alicia Machado. He stayed in that trap for a week. The Access Hollywood tape came out, which was not produced by Hillary Clinton. That was Trump. on camera talking about grabbing women.
Look, I just heard you go through this with Governor Pence. I get it. I know where you're coming from. But let me point out something to you.
Sure.
The three major networks spent 23 minutes attacking Donald Trump that night and 57 seconds on Hillary Clinton's secret speeches. You don't think this is a scale of bias worthy of Pravda and Izvestia? I mean, you want to know why Donald Trump's had a rough time?
If Trump is a sexual predator, that is...
He's not a sexual predator.
Okay, that's your opinion. I'm not taking a position on it. You could not defend that statement. I am not taking a position on it. I'm sick and tired of people like you using language that's inflammatory, that's not true. Excuse me, Mr. Speaker.
Donald
you have
Trump
no idea whether it's true or not. What we know is that there are at least...
Neither do you.
That's right, and I'm not taking a position on it,
no,
unlike
yes, you are. When you use the words, you took a position.
So what
and I think it's very unfair of you to do that, Megan.
Incorrect.
I think that is exactly the bias people are upset by.
I think that your defensiveness on this may speak volumes, sir.
No,
what I said
let me just suggest to you.
No, let me make my point, and then I'll give you the floor. What I said is, if Trump is a sexual predator, then it's a big story. And what we saw on that tape was Trump himself saying that he likes to grab women by the genitals and kiss them against their will. That's what we saw. Then we saw 10 women come forward after he denied actually doing it at a debate to say that was untrue. He did it to me. He did it to me. We saw reporters. We saw people who had worked with him, people from Apprentice, and so on and so forth. He denies it all, which is his right. We don't know what the truth is. My point to you is, as a media story, we don't get to say the 10 women are lying. We have to cover that story, sir.
Oh, sure. Okay, so it's worth 23 minutes of the three networks to cover that story, and Hillary Clinton in a secret speech in Brazil to a bank that pays her $225,000, saying her dream is an open border where 600 million people could come to America. That's not worth covering.
That is worth covering.
You want to go back through the tapes of your show recently? You are fascinated with sex, and you don't care about public policy.
Me?
Now, that's what I get out of watching you tonight.
You know what, Mr. Speaker? I'm not fascinated by sex, but I am fascinated by the protection of women and understanding what we're getting in the Oval Office. And I think the American voters would like to know.
And therefore, we're going to send Bill Clinton back to the East Wing because, after all, you are worried about sexual predators.
Yeah, listen, it's not about me. It's about the women and men of America. And the poll numbers show us that the women of America in particular are very concerned about these allegations and in large part believe that they are a real issue. And don't dismiss the women
on whether the
summarily.
Do you want to comment on whether the Clinton ticket has a relationship to a sexual predator?
We, on the Kelly File, have covered that story as well, sir. I will tell you the polls.
I just want to hear you use the words. I want to hear you use words, Bill Clinton sexual predator. I dare you. Say Bill Clinton sexual predator.
Mr. Speaker,
disbarred by the Arkansas bar? Disbarred by the Arkansas bar. $850,000 penalty?
Excuse me, sir. We on the Kelly File have covered the Clinton matter as well. We've hosted Kathleen Willey. We've covered the examples of him being accused as well, but he's not on the ticket. And the polls also show that the American public is less interested in the deeds of Hillary Clinton's husband than they are in the deeds of the man who asks us to make him president, Donald Trump. We're going to have to leave it at that, and you can take your anger issues and spend some time working on them, Mr. Speaker. Thanks for being here.
And you too.
Well, I'm just flabbergasted. That was a great exchange. And in that short amount of time, Newt Gingrich was able to just, pin her against the wall. I shouldn't say that, I guess. But the deal is that Bill Clinton is a proven sexual predator. Proven. He admitted it in two different ways Oh, I'm getting another notice from Dennis. It's distracted me. Sorry. That he Monica Lewinsky, and then also with Broderick. Those two people who Broderick said that he raped her. Monica Lewinsky, we hear all the tapes and stuff like that. It was just, and we have the tapes from Flowers whenever she was having an affair, a 12-year affair with Bill Clinton while he was governor of Arkansas. And what he made...
you're missing the best part, is where she goes, Donald Trump's a sexual predator. But then she immediately goes, but we can't prove that. But the way she said it was, he's a sexual predator.
Right. He did exactly. And when he says all these things that he's proven Bill Clinton to be a sexual predator, he's being taken into the White House again. And this time, he doesn't even have all of the cameras on him all the time because he's the first gentleman, or whatever they're going to call him. but he's in charge of all the women groups and all that, those kind of things. I would be afraid, very afraid, to vote for someone, to have someone go in that is a proven sexual predator. Donald Trump's had allegations, and a lot of those they've seen debunked and all that. And this latest one, oh my word, we're going to have to talk about her when we come back. Do not go away. You're listening to the Cindy Cochran Show, real reality radio.
The Cindy Cochran Show. You ain't heard nothing yet.
Want to check out what it's like to be on the radio? Need credit for school? For an internship? Then contact Dick online at dick@irlonestar.com. Lone Star Community Radio is Montgomery County's community radio station, and we are here to be part of the community.
The Cindy Cochran Show, the most opinionated talk show on radio.
And we're back on the Cindy Cochran Show. Thank you so much for listening. We're just down to the last few minutes of the show, but I want to tell you, I'll put up the link for that Kim.com guy. I'll put up the link for his Twitter account that you can go to on my Facebook after the show, and also a link to the video of Newt Gingrich and Megyn Kelly if you want to listen to that again. That was so good. I love that. Remember tomorrow is Don Wilson Day. We're going to have Don Wilson. Remember, Don Wilson is the guy that when he lost his family in a horrible automobile accident, Elvis Presley took him under his wing. He had been staying with his grandma, and his dad and his mom and sister were all killed in this accident. And so Elvis took him under his wing, was a mentor. He wrote to him, and then he would visit him, and it was an amazing side of Elvis that we don't know. And so he has grown up around all the people that surrounded Elvis and that life, and he's a great, great guy, and he's a Republican in L.A., and he sends me great tweets, great pictures and all that, and he's the one who did those pictures of me looking like Trump is holding my picture, and that looks like Hillary's trying to persuade me to vote for her. It's not true. But anyway, go to my Facebook page, The Cindy Cochran Show, to find out all about it. I'll have pictures up of Don, and he's going to be here tomorrow morning, and he's got to wake up 2 hours early, and he wakes up in the morning to listen to the show. I am so proud. It makes me feel so good. So anyway, he will be with us tomorrow, and please don't miss that. It'll be so much fun, so interesting, and hear a perspective from California on what's going on and what he senses about it. And I think everybody has a sense about, what they think, how they think the election is going to go, but you're afraid because all your friends, you hang around with people that think alike, so they all think alike, and you think, is there anybody that's going to vote for Hillary? Because everybody that you're around is voting for Trump, but they're all your friends. So he has a different perspective being in California and how they're looking at it. And we do get kind of isolated, don't we? Especially in Texas. That's how we like to be. We would secede in a minute if we thought we could get away with it. Because it's just, it's like we feel like we've got it all right here. We don't need anything else. And everybody up north is so weird and so crazy. And so would they want to go along with us? Could we ever negotiate any kind of deals between just the North? We don't have to go to China. Just figuring out how we can all get along with people up north that talk different from us, because we don't talk different. But I love it when America comes together, though, and votes, and everybody gets out there and votes your conscience and what you who you want to win, and then accept it, and then we'll stand behind him or her, and so it's going to be interesting, and it'll be fine. This isn't, it's not determining the salvation of your soul or anything like that. So it is going to be okay. We are going to go forward, and we'll be fine as a country. Just calm down on that. We have to calm down. I have to calm down. But anyway, we'll have fun tomorrow talking to my LA connection, Don Wilson. So you guys be sure and be here. And then, of course, just keep looking forward to the next day. We'll have Joey Sheaf on here, and that'll be fun. And remember, tomorrow on Thursday, after the show with Don Wilson, then I'll wait an hour, and then I'll be with Joey Sheaf on his show, Real Talk, and we'll talk about it more. But he gets to introduce a little more of the spiritual side that we need to think about and contemplate on, and also the political side, and see what we have to talk about. So if you guys have any questions or anything that you want answered, you want to talk about certain subjects, and you want to get off this subject, please message me on the Cindy Cochran Show, and I certainly will stay with it. I've got to read one message that we have before we go. Dennis did write, because Dennis got into, a very sticky, horrible legal situation, and he knows how when women accuse men of things, that the women are always believed. And he said all a woman has to do is say, I'm afraid of him, lie through her teeth, and down goes the man. So it's the first time he said I've even had a slightest sympathy for Trump. So he's feeling his pain and how those things go. But he's had a rough time with that, and we just have prayed and prayed and prayed. I have, that everything will be okay. And Dennis is an amazing guy, very sweet guy, and I don't care what he says, he's a sweet guy. And we appreciate him. So thank you, Dennis, for checking in with us. And we will, and I didn't say your last name one time. I'm so proud of myself. And so anyway, we're at the end of the show, and I just want to tell everybody thank you for listening. And this show, as well as yesterday's show, will be up on my channel, The Cindy Cochran Show. You go to YouTube or SoundCloud and listen to the archives. If you missed one word of the show, be sure and go there. We like to have a lot of fun on this show, don't we? Yes, we do. Okay, guys, I'm signing off now. And remember, The Cindy Cochran Show, real reality radio. See you tomorrow.
Thanks for checking out this production on Lone Star Community Radio, Montgomery County's radio station. For more information on this show and other shows on Lone Star, check us out online at irlonestar.com. If you're interested in sponsoring a program on Lone Star Community Radio and reaching the local audience of Montgomery County on FM, internet, and TV media, please call 936-647-5747 or contact us online at irlonestar.com. This recording is a Lone Star Community Radio production, produced by the show host and Dick Schissler of Lone Star Community Radio. Interested in volunteering as a music DJ or starting your own talk show? Contact Dick Schissler at dick@irlonestar.com or by phone at 936-647-5747.